welcome everybody. So I'm going to be talking about the GOAT Tropius. Tulin has so many shitmons that were just bad, and I'm just excited to talk about all of them and the buffs that I gave him. So Tropius, obviously yet another Hoenn shitmon. So incredible abilities and incredible stat boost. So before I talk about the typing, because actually I have a feeling that the base stat total might be more, I wouldn't say controversial, but confusing if you're new here, especially. By the way, hello, welcome if you're new here. Make sure you check the description down below. There is a very detailed Google Sheet. It's linked in the description, and you can check out all of the buffs and changes to every Pokemon. Most importantly, you can check out the move buffs and changes. Those are extremely important, and I've buffed or changed literally every single move, so it's just a lot of them work way differently now, so it's really important to check that out. But back on topic, yeah, Tropius. Okay, base stat total 575. All of the single stage non-evolving dragon types in the hack have 575 base stat total. So that means Tropius, Turtonator, Drampa, and Druddigon. Those are the only non-evolving dragons that aren't legendaries, obviously. So there might be one more that I'm blanking on, and they'll probably have 575 base stat total too if I'm blanking on one of them. But yeah, for the most part, that's it. And those are all that's awesome. I think it's really cool because they're these giant, like for example, Delmaz will be same, even though he's not a dragon. Like Pokemon like that, they're one off, but they're like they're not evolving, but they're just strong ass looking Pokemon. Like they're big, strong Pokemon. Not to mention Tropius especially needs that base stat total purely because he is a mixed attacker, and therefore I have to kind of dump a lot of points into mixed stats. Otherwise, I would have just given him 72 special attack, which is the same as vanilla. Don't ask why I was on card bank. Anyways, actually, damn, I'm correct. Hold on, here we go. Yeah, 72. So, 72. Yeah, it would have been 550 base stat total with 72 special attack and 118 attack. So it's point being. This is not like a one-off, like, oh, Tropius is just really strong for no reason. It's a consistent thing. Not to mention there are tons of other Pokemon on the hack that are 575 and 600 base stat total. There's tons of new pseudos. There's one-stage Pokemon that are 600 base stat total, like Steelix, Gyarados, Wailord, and Milotic. And then there's two stages that are like stuff like Arcanine, Exeggutor, Camerupt, and then obviously Tropius and stuff are all like 1 to 2 stage Pokemon that are 575. So that being said, that's the reason for base stat total. As for the typing, I don't think that's controversial at all. I don't even think you should be... Like, I know you can fly, but first of all, how the fuck does that work? Like, how the fuck do those little-ass leaves carry his gigantic weight? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me personally, but whatever. I mean, Pokemon's Pokemon. And I also hate how he's perpetually flying. That's one of the worst. Like, him and, like, Xatu are so bad in terms of how they fly. Like, Skarmory, etc. Those three are bad in terms of how they're constantly flying in their animations, but yeah, normally, when I make a Pokemon that used to be flying type, not flying type anymore, I give it Levitate, but this is an exception. The only other exception so far has been Ho-Oh, which is a post-game Pokemon, so it's not a big deal. And then Delibird, because Delibird isn't flying in its animation, and it can barely fly anyways, in my opinion. So Tropius is a weird one, though, because he is flying in the animation, so yeah, it's kind of weird that he can be hit by Earthquake, but I wanted, because he already resists ground, so Levitate is like really situational. Not that it's bad, but still, it would be pretty good, because keep in mind in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite use ability capsules, okay? So you can switch between your abilities, so if it was Levitate regen, it would be fine. I like Grassy Guard a lot more. This was like a last minute decision. I had Levitate planned the whole time because it's like, oh, it's not flying type anymore, give it Levitate. But I prefer Grassy Guard, not to mention under grassy terrain, Earthquake's already doing half, and you already resist EQ anyways. You're going to be taking 0 damage from EQ on Tropius. Obviously, like special ones would do more, like, Earth Power or whatever, but Land's Wrath, etc. But, it's still pretty cool. So, abilities. Regenerator. Logically, I don't think you need to explain that too much. Some of the dex entries do talk about how, like, its fruit regrows over and over again. Like, its fruit grows in a year or something. I don't know, a little bit of a reach, but it's a grass type. I think you can give most grass types regen if you really wanted to. Kind of weird, but I think it's fine. Not to mention, I think he just needs the buff, and I think it's really cool. Not to mention, there are other grass dragon types that he has to compete with. So Sceptile is just all out offensive fast, so that's not really any competition. They're just different Pokemon in terms of how they function. As for, I think there's a couple more that I'm blanking on. I'm almost positive those are not the only two. Hold on. Because base Sceptile is also that, but hold on. Grass Dragon. I know I have them here. Come on. Yes, there are two. Oh yeah, Alolan Exeggutor, and there's one new one. Alolan Exeggutor actually does have a bit of competition. It is also a 575 base stat total mon. And if you look here, it actually is pretty similar stat-wise. It is a lot less bulky than Tropius is. It's still very tanky, but it's a lot less bulky. But it is stronger, and it has the abilities Harvest and Solar Rush, so that's just a way different Pokemon. That's also why Tropius doesn't have any Sun-related abilities. Obviously, I would like for it to have a Sun-related ability. You might want to say, okay, we'll give it Solar Power. Mega Sceptile has Solar Power. I don't want 2 Grass Dragon types with Solar Power. That's just a lot of unnecessary overlap, and I think Solar Power works a lot better on a fast Pokemon. Not that it's bad on Tropius, it would not be bad at all, but I think Grassy Guard's way cooler. I think it makes them way more defensive. So Regen is an obviously great ability. Really cool things you can do with Regenerator are Leaf Storm, Dragon Ascent, Frenzy Plant, and Draco Meteor all drop your stats by 2. You know, Dragon Ascent and Draco Meteor. Sorry, Frenzy Plant and Dragon Ascent being physical, and Draco Meteor and Leaf Storm being special. And so what you can do is you can use those very powerful 150 base power moves, and you can actually switch out after and get that regen healing. It's really fucking cool. I love that combination, super great. You can also use regen to heal off recoil damage from Chloroblast, Seed Flare, Chloroblast, Wood Hammer, and Dragon Hammer. Also, Play Rough and Takedown. Those are all recoil moves. Not to mention, technically, something like Dive Bomb would give you recoil. It's essentially Flying Type High Jump Kick, which means if you missed it, you would Regenerator switch out. That was not English, but yeah. Again, check out the Google Sheet down below if you're curious about any of these moves, buffs, or changes. They're all like buffed or changed, so it's really important that you definitely at least give that some sort of a look while you're looking at the changes if you are a type of person who likes to do that. But yeah, and somebody asked me recently, like, if the move descriptions are changed in game. They are. I have a little thing on the type thingy that says that, but I just wanted to clear that up for anybody who's wondering. Yes, they are changed in game, so you don't have to like look up every move every time. That would be really fucking annoying. You can just see what they do from the menu. So back on topic with Tropius. Yeah, great bulk. 119, 93, 97 bulk. Super fucking tanky. Also pretty damn strong. 113, 102. Yeah, it's slow. And oh, I didn't mention this yet. People might want thick fat. Okay, I understand that's something that people like on Tropius. Number one, I don't see it. He's not really that fat. He's just I guess he's kind of fat. I don't know. I don't really see it logically. And the more important reason I don't see it is because he's a tropical fucking dragon. Like, he's a flying tropical dragon. Like, why would it resist ice and fire? Like, it's literally a leaf dragon. Like, it should die to fire type and ice type moves. That's just, yeah. People fixate so much on weaknesses. There's so many amazing Pokemon 4 times weaknesses. Not to mention, Grass Dragon has some amazing resistances. It's so good. Just don't use it on an ice type move. It's not that hard. Not to mention, you can probably tank one, especially if it's non-stab. You can totally tank an ice move with your bulk. You can always regen it off, and you can also kill the ice types or the ice type move user with all your great moves and coverage options and shit. So having a 4 times weakness is not a big deal. People make it out to be so much worse than it is. Not to mention, it keeps it in check. You know, it's a super tanky mod. It should have some ways to deal with it. But anyways, yeah. What was I trying to say here? Sorry. Hopefully that didn't come off too aggressively. What am I looking for? Sceptile, Mega Sceptile. So. Yeah, as you can see, this is the only Grass Dragon I could think of in video games. So yeah, Water, Grass, Ground, and then obviously Electric is a 4 times resist, just ignore Lightning Rod. So Water, Electric, and Grass are all 4 times resisted, and then you also resist Ground. Not to mention with Grassy Guard, which I actually haven't talked about that much yet, which is an incredible ability. If you're new here and you don't know what this does, you're probably dying, like, what the fuck does that do? So I'm sorry if I didn't mention that yet, but hopefully you already know what this does by now. Maybe not, because most of the ones that had it so far were baby evolutions besides Mega Venusaur. There will be 2 more Pokemon that have this that are fully evolved. I have them planned that already, so those will be really cool. But yeah, Grassy Guard's super fucking sick. On you know, in hindsight, I could switch Harvest and Grassy Guard. I could switch those around. So you have Solar Rush and Grassy Guard on Executor, and then Harvest and Regenerator. But yeah, that would make a lot more sense. But I already made the whole video for Executor. I don't want to redo it. It's whatever. I'll just leave it as it is. Because one thing I wanted to, I had, like I said earlier in the video, I had it planned as Levitate the whole time. So it never really came into my. That's why I used up all the Sun abilities. If I knew that Tropius would not Levitate, I would have reserved Harvest for it for sure. And I would have given Solar Rush to Executor, or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. But it does matter. But you know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place right now, but that's kind of disappointing. But it's okay. Grassy Guard's a sick ability. I just think it fits Executor a little bit more because it's an actual tree. You know, not to mention, like, I don't know, it just fits better. But that's not a big deal. It still fits Tropius. So. And it's an incredible ability. So yeah, what this does is you get a 50% boost onto grassy terrain. Okay, so you get the, I believe it's what, 1/16. Is it leftovers healing per turn? I think it's leftovers healing per turn. So it's 1/16 HP per turn. And then you also get a massive 50% boost to your grass stab on top of that giant 50% defense boost. So with 119, 93, 97 bulk, with Grassy Guard, max HP, max Pedef, for example, you are freaking immortal. You are just living everything. Super tanky Pokemon with Grassy Guard active. It's already tanky to begin with, let alone with Grassy Guard active. And the beautiful thing about that is you can actually abuse the Grassy Terrain TM. So you can either abuse that yourself with Terrain Extender or with, a different item, because, it is a TM, so you can reteach it because there is no move relearner until the end of the game. So it's nice to have that as a TM, which is why I made it a TM, by the way. Just for, Grassy Guard and Grassy Terrain strats. But yeah, the really cool thing about that is you can actually use it on a teammate, because a lot of other Pokemon get Grassy Terrain, not just grass types. Tons of other ones get it, like bug types and a bunch of other shit. So what you can do is you can run Grassy Terrain plus U-Turn, Volt Switch, or Parting Shot with Terrain Extender, and then you have 6 full turns of Grassy Guard to abuse, which is a lot. Not to mention you're getting HP every turn, and you can also use something like Ingrain, which is buffed to essentially be like Calm Mind, but it heals you. So essentially, it's a very interesting move now. So Ingrain gives you +1 special attack against Pedef, and it gives you healing every turn. However, the downside is, number one, it locks you in battle. You cannot switch out unless you use a eject button or something, or a switch move, which Tropius actually does not get. I wanted to give it Regen Parting Shot because there's a lot of other Pokemon that have that, but I don't think Parting Shot fits Tropius. I'm very generous with Parting Shot, but he's too gentle to have Parting Shot in my opinion, so I didn't give it to him as much as I wanted to. It took a lot of self-control, not gonna lie, but yeah, so as I was saying, you can essentially use that team support, Grassy Terrain, switch into your Tropius, and then you can use Ingrain, which will heal you even more, and you get that special attack boost. And so essentially you're getting the special defense and special attack boost on top of Grassy giving you defense, so you're just strong and really fucking tanky. It's so fucking good. I love it. Max HP, max HP, max Pedef, or special attack or defense, or any unique spread that you need to, if you ran calcs for the boss fight, you can tailor your EVs to live with a specific hit that you need to live, or whatever the fuck it may be. I would recommend doing that, especially because in this ROM hack, not only do you have infinite ability capsules, you also have instant EV training, so you can easily switch your EVs around. So you run physical sets for one fight, you run a purely defensive set for the next fight, you run a special set for the next fight, whatever it is, you can switch it around really easily. So yeah, Ingrain's great. Another downside is that it lowers your speed by -5, which you're already pretty slow, but still was something to keep in mind. But yeah, Giga Drain, Ingrain, Leech Seed, Grassy Guard, Grassy Terrain is fucking crazy. You're getting so much HP every turn with that. And Giga Drain is also, of course, boosted under Terrain, so it's a really fun strategy for sure. Definitely worth using. Grassy Guard's great, don't sleep on it. Obviously, Regenerator is beautiful, that's a perfect ability, but Grassy Guard is very good under certain situations. You can definitely make very good use of that. It's awesome. And you can also run a Grassy Guard team if you wanted, with Mega Venusaur too, whatever you want to do. If you love grass types or something, I don't know, it's, play however you want. Obviously I balance this around doing Nuzlocke and using a bunch of different mons, but use whatever you want. So that's that for Grassy Guard. It also gets other good setup like Dragon Dance and Swords Dance, which are already learned naturally. Swords Dance is pretty cool with stuff like Seed Shot and Draco Jet for priority. That's pretty cool. And then you also have Dragon Dance, which is not that great because you have low speed, but after 2 GDs you'll be able to outspeed a lot of things, if not most things, with speed investment. For example, max speed after 2 DZs you're outspeeding everything, because Scarf is not really relevant in game because AI is too bad. The AI doesn't switch out, so Choice Scarf is bad. It's a bad item to give them. But yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit spaced out. So Breaking Swipe is really good. Breaking Swipe is 70 base power and drops both offensive stats by 1, so that's a great support move of regen. You can break and swipe, get that powerful stuff off. Sweet Scent is also great. Sweet Scent is gives -1 speed F and -1 special attack. You also have stuff like Whirlwind plus regen, so Whirlwind is a priority move now that has 3 PP only, so you can essentially phase the opponent out guaranteed if they're going to sweep you, if they're boosting up their stats, if you just don't like the matchup for whatever reason. Not to mention Z Whirlwind gives you +3 speed, which you could use for certain things, like SD plus Steel Whirlwind would be really fucking fun. That'd be really fucking strong actually, because you get +3 speed, you're super quick, and you can go to town there. So that'd be fun. Yeah, you have powerful flying moves all around. You have Hurricane, Dual Wing Beat, all this good stuff, Air Blast, Dive Bomb, all this kinds of stuff. You can check out what all that does in the description down below. I already said recoil moves like Dragon Hammer and Wood Hammer and Chloroblast are good with regen. not too much else to talk about really. It has great coverage, ground coverage with Earth Power, Earthquake, Stomping Tantrum type stuff. Rock moves with Stone Edge, Rock Slide. I give it Heat Wave as well because it is number one, it's a dragon now. And number two, I've been giving Heat Wave to a couple more like wind-esque mons, and it is a tropical Pokemon. That's why I gave it to like a Lone Executor too. They live in tropical regions, so I think Heat Wave is kind of cool, and it's great coverage. I don't think it's that weird. I think most Pokemon with like wings get it, so why not? I mean, yeah, I know they're grass type, but other Pokemon get moves that they're weak to, so fucking Rhydon gets surfed, dude. Like, that's not an argument. I know it's because he technically could probably swim, but it gets Aqua Tail there. There's no justification for fucking Aqua Tail, okay? So yeah, they can have Heat Wave for sure. Also, Grassy Seed would be really good with Grassy Guard as well. You get another +1 defense, so you run max HP, max Spadef, Ingrain, Grassy Seed, Grassy Guard. Oh my god, that would be so fun to use. Really awesome with Giga Drain too. You're just never fucking dying. You really love to see it. So sick. That's really cool. Not to mention, I did that intentionally, but I forgot that Acrobatics also works with that. It's no longer a stab, but it's still a good move to have with the Grassy Seed set if you're running like a physical set or something with Grassy Seed. But yeah, Grassy Guard, great ability, regen, great ability, great stats all around. Again, 575 is common for all of the non-evolving dragon types, the one-off dragon types. You also have Roost for reliable recovery if you need that via TM. Other good coverage like Nature Power could be pretty cool under like a different terrain, like electric terrain or psychic terrain, which is why it's a TM, it's situational. Yeah, I could talk about a couple more things, but I'll leave it off there. I think I'm talking for long enough, so thank you very much for listening. If you found this interesting, please. Oh yeah, also Leech Seed Regenerator. That's obviously an incredible thing to do. You get the Leech off, you switch out. Now you have the Leech going for your teammate, whatever it is. That's all really good stuff, okay? My favorite thing personally would probably be like Draco Meteor or Leaf Storm, Dragon Ascent type stuff. Plus Regen is so fun, and then the Grassy Guard shit is super fun. It's just such a great Pokemon. So many great things it can do, as always. So I'll leave it off there. I'm talking a little bit too much. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. If you are new here and you like this kind of video, make sure you, well, number one, check out the description for the link to the Google Sheets and also a link to my Discord server if that interests you. All I ask in return is that you do subscribe. If you have not listened, if you've listened this far into the video, excuse me, you should definitely be subbed, okay? Yeah, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you like the buffs. That would help with the algorithm. And also make sure you drop a like. That goes for any video of mine you watch. That would be helpful. Thank you very much, everybody, and goodbye.